Sunday evening essentials and early week insights. I'm meteorologist Matt Noyce, 1 degree outside Weather Network. If you just want a forecast to get you through over the next day or two, that's what I'm going to take care of here in the first 60 to 90 seconds. If you love the meteorological deep dive, I've got that for you in early week insights. As for this evening and tonight, colder air coming in, low temperatures end up down on average about 7 degrees or so. We probably get down to 10 in Boston, single digits way past the Mass Turnpike, coming deep into southern New England and below zero in the north. That's without the wind. With the wind figured in, it feels like zero from Boston down to Plymouth and feels like it's below zero across a lot of the northern two-thirds of New England or so. This sets you up for what will be a cold morning at the bus stop. Tomorrow, you've got about a 1 degree wind chill to get things started out. Feels like forecast is still in the teens at recess, but after school, a little bit better. It's a cold day. Tuesday, you make progress. There will be some rain and snow showers moving in. We'll look at that in a moment. And then by Wednesday, actually start to break out a little bit. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be milder days. We'll probably go 45 to 50. Some spots may eclipse 50, believe it or not. And if you want to be on top of that, grab our app. It's totally free. It's 5 stars, the 1 degree outside app on the App Store and Google Play. So that takes care of you over the course of about the next 24 hours. Now let's get into the early week insights. Of course, early week insights designed to be that deeper dive into meteorology to take you through the next several days. In this video, we're going to be talking about a quick shot of early week cold, some appreciable melting that does happen this week, largely because the sun angle is getting so much stronger. Do you know that we're in equivalent sun strength now, the angle in the sky, as we were in early October, because we're that far away from the shortest day of the year? Spring storms often kind of sense that difference that's going on in the atmosphere and have variable types of precipitation, rain, snow, mix, and intensity. And I think that our next couple storm chances are really going to show that as well. Just a reminder, we always have our streaming weather network, New England's only weather network, on your smart TV, online, and on our app. Let's dive in and show you what's going on here. First of all, the eclipse that's coming up Tuesday morning. Many of you have been asking about that. It is such a small window to try and see it. And most of us, you're not going to be able to see it very easily from home. Reason I say that is because the moon sets at 6:17 in the morning. Notice the total eclipse begins at 6:04. So it's already on the western horizon and low on the western horizon. You only have from 6:04 to 6:17 to try and catch it. So you got to be looking west. You got to have a good clear view of the low horizon line. That's kind of the way it shakes out in order to try and see that. All right. In terms of how much snow's on the ground, we are the kings of the nation, us and the upper peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, there are some spots out in the Intermountain region of the western United States, but mostly it is right here at home. Of course, here we do have pretty significant snowfall amounts still on the ground. You're talking 18 to 24 inches, even in parts of southern New England, because you're just trying to melt down what you got out of that last storm that came through. Now, you say, does this translate to flooding? Not in the immediate term. As we warm up at the end of the week, we are going to watch the rivers across northern New England for ice jams where the ice breaks up and gets stuck. But we still have some great skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling conditions, and we're taking care of everybody who loves winter sports at our enthusiast level at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. Look, the jet stream overall does tell a story. As I play things through over this week, and I won't stop it much, but I want you to consider that the jet stream separates cold air to the north from warm air to the south, right? So we're definitely getting more toward the warm air. But at the same time, over the course of the next week, you are tapping the Pacific for both energy and moisture, which means that as systems come through, they're more capable of producing some decent amounts of precipitation. And by that, I mean liquid equivalent precipitation. Could be rain, could be snow, but more falls from the sky overall. One of those systems comes through us as we get into Tuesday and Tuesday night. Notice the morning on Tuesday, you're totally fine. By midday, in it comes a mixture of rain and green, snow and blue. We'll zoom the map in a minute. By Tuesday evening, a cold front comes by and then does shut it off. There's not much cold air behind it, though. Wednesday, we're going to end up at 45 to 50 degrees in a number of spots. And then the next system comes at as we get into Thursday evening and night. Let's not be sold on whether that one's going to be rain, snow, or mix yet. And I'll show you why. We'll do that deep dive here in just 1 second. But we'll take it one step at a time. After some Monday morning flurries on portions of the Outer Cape, really it's just a cold day, a dry day, a fairly quiet day for us. And then it's Tuesday that the clouds will begin to increase during the morning. By midday, we've got snow and blue, rain and green. But notice what's happening at midday. Your temperature is already marginal. And remember, your sun is now, as I mentioned, that equal strength to early October. So I think a lot of this will melt on the pavement as it comes down, on the walkways as it comes down. So when do you have to worry more about it? Well, as we start to get toward the evening and the sun begins to set and your temperatures are still marginal, then from Route 2 north, your best chance of more meaningful accumulation occurs, and it may accumulate on cold surfaces other than that, but you get the idea. I think in terms of pavement and walkways, the biggest issue would be as we get after evening in central and northern New England. Southern New England, you just have to watch you don't refreeze with some cold air coming in during the course of the overnight on Tuesday night. So total amount of snow doesn't appear to be impressive out of that event. It's probably a coating to an inch in gray, 1 to 2 inches in the areas in white, maybe 2 to 4 in some of the central and southern greens. We should carry 1 to 2 all the way up to the Maine Turnpike and along the coast of Maine by the time that one's done as well. What I think is interesting for the end of the week is I'm watching atmospheric energy here, and you'll see the stuff that comes through at midweek. Yeah, it's strung out. It's not really that big of a deal. But you've got more of an organized bundle of energy that's going to be coming at us as we get into Thursday night. So as this comes in, that is one more chance for more organized precipitation in that Thursday evening and night time frame. Now, look, the general thought process on this one that's been out in the mainstream has been, it's got to be rain. We haven't necessarily bought into that. As a matter of fact, one thing we said to our private forecast partners even the end of last week was just be careful with this one and let's watch it, right? You don't want to write these off too soon when this is happening. I'm showing you the surface temperature now where the red line is the melting point, and you say, well, that's way north of us going to the end of the week. It is. But notice a big dome of cold high pressure in eastern Canada. If that sets up in that spot, I mean, it's forecast to be about 1,046, 1,047 millibar high. It's going to pump cold air down, and you're going to get this shallow dome of cold that comes in and muscles in on a northeast wind Thursday night into Friday. And that sets you up for the potential of a wintry mix. It could be snow, but given the fact that we look at temperatures at about 6,000 feet up at the lowest level of the cloud layer, and you see that melting line riding north for a lot of the midweek, and even as we get into Thursday evening and night, slowly pressing south, you say, wow, we really could flip to snow for that storm on Thursday night and a Friday across northern New England. Yeah, there really could be kind of a mix that comes all the way down toward Route 2 of the Mass Pike. So again, let's not write that one off yet. Either way, you've got more precipitation because of what I talked about with that Pacific connection. So through midweek, you've got about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of precipitation in southern New England, less when you come across the north. And then when you add in what's going to be coming as we get toward the end of the week, well, that ups the ante a little bit more. Now, when you add in Thursday night and Friday, you're talking about an inch or two of total precipitation that comes down. That's a decent amount of liquid equivalent. So that tells you, look, these systems are starting to get a little bit juicier, right? A little bit more to watch. So we go from highs on Monday in the 20s for most of us, and feels like temperature will be running in the teens. So it'll be one more real cold night Monday night, down to the single digits and teens. And after that, you see the cold relax a bit. We talked about the mixed showers on Tuesday. Tuesday night, you may be able to get cold enough to refreeze some of that moisture, so it's worth being aware of that. But by Wednesday, you're running up to 50. By Thursday, you're running up to, or in some spots, over 50. Probably an onshore wind, so it's cooler right at the coastline. And then again, we'll see what happens Thursday night, Friday with that system. I always do like to give mention for our mariners as we get into a Sunday evening and Mondays, just so you have an idea for what's coming up for the weekend. The nearshore waters won't be that busy. It gets breeziest on Tuesday afternoon. You may get a 3 to 5 foot chop just offshore with that. And then as we get in toward the middle and end of the week, things do tend to quiet a little bit for you again. Although out by George's Bank, you pretty much maintain a 5 to 6 foot sea all the way through. So that's the way things look for now. We'll have a lot to update you on over the course of the upcoming week, especially pertaining to that late week system. Again, we'll update your midweek insights again for you coming up on Tuesday. And of course, always the 24-hour forecast every early morning and updates as needed at onedegreeoutside.com and at onedegreeoutside.live, our streaming network.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 Degree Outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the #1 Degree Outside Weather.